What's going on, guys? Minzy here, bringing you guys another build. Today is the Ice Maiden Frozen Arrow Amazon. I'm level 90. I do about 6.2k damage. I am pretty geared, honestly, so I would advise that this is not a build that you start the league with, but maybe one more towards the end. We have some currency to burn. With that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Strength, just enough to wear your Valor here. Dex, just enough to use the bow. Rest into Vitality. We are using the Ice Bow, of course. It's an Ice Bow is on, so you do want to get this. The most important stat right here is the cold skill damage. Next up, Night Wings. Absolutely best in slot here. It's going to give you the most cold, and of course that enemy cold resistance stat is crucial as well. This amulet, I recently acquired this. You don't have to use something like this. I used the mirror for most of the league. The water walks. Everyone's going to need a little bit of this mana after each kill. That's absolutely imperative for the build. You know, whether it's on your boots or on some of your rings, you do need to get some of this mana after each kill. You'll see in the footage that I do use mana potions now and then, unless you're really efficient. You need mana after each kill. These rings are just skillers, doesn't matter. I have a BK and an SOJ. You could easily, I think 2 BKs with mana after each kill is probably best here. I did what I could. The belt, the NOS, you want the attack speed, the dead strike is nice, but the main thing here that you want to do is hit this Pierce corruption. This will save you a bunch of points later. The higher the roll you can get there. These gloves, any 2 skill gloves do. You just need 2 skills, 20 IAS, and then the Valor. This was pretty pricey. I think these run like 12 to 15 high runes. You don't need this though. It is completely not necessary. I'll show you in the footage later that I do it before I put the jewels in this Valor. You still just absolutely shred mobs and cut through them buttery smooth. My charms are very easy to acquire. These are just res charms I use to balance out my reses. You do not have that much defense in this build. Like, reses are low, your defense is low. You want to get that health pool as high as possible, and then you also need to realize that your best form of survivability is your offense. You just want to shoot and freeze everything. So even when stuff does get scary, you just want to keep shooting and pray to stay alive. So yeah, this is just resers, and then these are just skillers. You want to get as many faster run walks here as you can. As for skill points go, it is 0 into Javelin. You do want to get a nice spread here onto your passive and magic. Put as many points into Pierce as you need, and then as many into Evade as you want. I kind of kept this low because I was trying to pump up my magic arrow for my boss killing damage. It does the most cold damage per level here. And Ice Arrow is your single target killer, so you want to keep that in mind. But of course, Freezing Arrow is maxed, Ice Arrow, Cold Arrow, and then you're going to want to put get as much Magic Arrow here as you can. I would also advise getting this Guided Arrow. It does help with immunities every now and then. You will run into some that your Merce is struggling with, and you want to help them out a little bit. So that is that. And speaking of the Merce, Here he is. I have a beast on him. This is a pretty good one. It took me a while to roll this one. I think I did 4 before this, but yeah, we finally did it. You want to get that 10 fanaticism, you really do. The rest of it is standard merc gear as per usual. I found this stuff and it's just PDR, lifesteal, and attack speed. Now let's just take a quick look at some of the stats here. Really, like I've mentioned before, you just want to hit this 100% pierce. Everything else is pretty insignificant. Most of your damage is generated from plus skills, which is on your gear, and then your faucet damage, your plus the cold skill damage is gonna boost the rest of it. So like I said, balance those reses. Don't really worry about too much other stuff in here. Hit the IAS to the point that you want it at. 60 was more than fine for me. Do what you want there. And I guess I'm going to show you guys just what my MF set is like. This is what I generally just kind of map with. The footage from earlier was with the gear I showed you, and this is the gear that I would usually run with. So I just kind of switch out some MF. It's pretty simple stuff, but this works just fine for all the content. And yeah, I'm gonna play that cow run for you that I was talking about with before I put the jewels in this valor, just so you guys can see that it's still definitely viable. You do not need to spend the 15s or whatever high runes on either of these pieces here. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can also use mabs. Quite frankly, I have seen some cold mabs-ons and they do just fine. So if you want to go that route, that's fine. I should mention this really quick. I picked this little tip up from Mawcat. He's got a harmony on his swap, and I absolutely love it. Just for town running, and in between maps, you'll see that I do actually pop this up. When there's no mobs on the screen, I just put this on, run to mobs, start shooting, swap, start shooting. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna roll the cow footage.